Hey GameXNations! Do you know that you recently reached 100 subscribers? Wait, really? Let me see. Oh my gosh, I did! This is awesome, I've been waiting for this Wait, what just happened? Someone just unsubscribed, now you have 99. Oh, they just subscribed again. Okay, nice. Nope, never mind. They changed their mind. Oh cool, they subscribed. And there they go unsubscribing again. Darn it! Due to the amount of awesome new information that we've been getting from Monster Hunter Rise recently, and the absence of any new Monster Hunter Stories 2 news, people seem to have focused all of their attention on Monster Hunter Rise. And Monster Hunter Stories 2 just isn't really being talked about right now. However, personally, I'm still just as excited for that game as I am for Rise, and even though we haven't been getting any new information, there are a couple of new features and mechanics that I think we should expect to see in the game. Before I start, I want to mention two important things. First of all, I know that there are lots of Monster Hunter Stories 2 leaks. In this video, I'm not going to talk about any of them, I'm simply going to talk about things that I personally think we should probably expect to see in the game. If you have taken a look at the leaks, then please don't talk about them in the comments so as to not spoil it for others. Second of all, in some parts of the video I'll be talking about certain information from the first Monster Hunter Stories game, like the final boss of the game. So if you haven't played that game yet, and don't want any spoilers, then you should probably not watch this video. And with all of that being said, let's begin talking about the 7 new features and mechanics that we'll probably see in Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. First and foremost, we should expect to see exclusive monsters. The first game had a couple of monsters exclusive to it, like Versa Pietro and Makili Pietro, which is the final boss of the game and is basically a Versa Pietro infected by the Black Blight. So it shouldn't be too surprising if we see certain monsters exclusive to Monster Hunter Stories 2. Next up is an upgraded gene system. The gene system in the original game allowed you to take traits from monsters and insert them into your other monsters to upgrade them. This allowed you to customize your monster the way you want it to be. For example, if you wanted to increase its base speed or change its elements, you were able to do that. By an upgraded gene system, I mean going even farther with it. For instance, combining too many genes from different monsters will start to mutate your monster to become a deformed hybrid or something. They may also make some tweaks to the system to make it a bit easier to understand. I mean, in the original, this gene system wasn't terribly complicated to use or anything, but I know a lot of people found certain aspects of it a bit confusing. The third thing I think we'll see are monsters from Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter World. In the original game, they tried to add as many monsters as possible, and we ended up getting a total of 111 monsters from all sorts of main series Monster Hunter games, except for Monster Hunter World, but that game wasn't even out when Monster Hunter Stories got released. In the sequel, they'll most likely add as many monsters as possible and from different generations. MH Stories 2 and MH Rise were both announced in the same Nintendo Direct, and it would be quite nice to see monsters from Monster Hunter Rise in Monster Hunter Stories 2. We should also expect to see all of the Deviant 4 monsters, as the original only had Glavenus. Number 4. No loading screens and more monsters to fly. Due to the fact that the 3DS isn't very powerful, MH Stories 1 obviously had loading screens when entering a cave or a new area. The sequel will probably be like Monster Hunter Rise, where you can explore the world without having to go through a loading screen. Moreover, in the original you were able to fly with 7 or 8 monsters, but you were not able to do so with every monster that had the potential to fly. For example, you weren't able to fly with Teostra. This isn't a big deal, but in the sequel there will probably be more monsters with this ability. Number 5. More egg patterns. So in the original, every egg had its own pattern, and every monster could be hatched from 4 specific eggs. For example, Seragios had these 4 egg patterns, and if you had an egg that has one of these 4, then it will 100% be a Seragios. If the sequel has new monsters that were not present in the original game, then it would only make sense for there to be new egg patterns as well. And speaking of egg patterns, we could also see more types of monster dens, as the first game only had 3. Normal dens, which gave average eggs, golden dens, which gave rare eggs of better average quality, and red dens, which gave high rank eggs. And last but not least is more multiplayer options. The only multiplayer option that the first game had was a PvP mode that allowed you to fight other players and their monster team. This was pretty fun, but it definitely wasn't enough, and the sequel will almost certainly have more options. For example, maybe you'll be able to explore the world with your friends. And before ending this video, I quickly want to mention that I recently reached 100 subscribers. This made me really happy, and I am very thankful to those that watch my videos. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. GameXNations is the best channel in the world.